the video today, I am sharing with you the 23 lessons I have learned in 2023. And the reason I'm sharing with you this is that I know it's going to set your mind free. And it's also an opportunity for me to learn from you guys. I'm curious to know what are those most important lessons that you have learned from 2023. So this is going to be like a conversation. I learn from you, you learn from me. And this is something I do every year. At the end of the year, I reflect back on how the year was from the beginning, and then I see what lessons I can glean from it. How do I go about moving forward? So I'm really excited for this video, and I encourage you guys to do the same. This is something I encourage you. So last year we did 22. In 2021 we did 21. Next year we're going to do 24. So I just like playing around with the numbers, but we could actually end up having more than 23 because, guys, I have so many. All these are notes, all these are lessons. Like, I was trying to like really prioritize, but it's so difficult to prioritize, guys. You know, all these are lessons. I write them usually, like when I remember something, I just write it down. So guys, as you come onto the video, please do say hello. Let me know where you are watching me from, and do give the video a like because it's free. It helps to motivate me, and yeah, it costs you nothing. So if you are seeing my face for the first time, my name is Imam Tali, and on this channel, mostly we talk about travel, we talk about relocation tips, we talk about visa guides, we talk about what immigration, we talk about everything. And I also do share with you guys my travel escapades around the world through the travel vlog. So you're just welcome. And today we are talking about lessons learned in 2023. So guys, I will start, but I also welcome, so that this can be an engaging activity. I encourage you guys to also do share your lessons learned because you just never know who you might help. So starting off, hey, I have so many. So the biggest lesson, so for a very good part of 2023, I wasn't in formal employment because my contract had just ended in 2022. So guys, something else, I was trying to look for a way to classify these lessons, but it wasn't really working. So I'm just gonna tell them as they were coming in my head and how I was writing them. So for and probably those who follow me regularly on the channel, you probably have heard some of the stories I'm gonna be sharing, but I'm just like, you know what, it's never the same, and yeah, you might get a different lesson out of it. So for a very good part of 2023, I wasn't in formal employment until around September. That's when I moved to formal employment because my contract had ended in 2022. So there's some lessons I had learned from that. So number one, your network is your biggest asset, guys. It pays, and I keep talking about it here on the channel. It is important that you do an audit of the people that are around you frequently enough so that you know who needs to be kept in your space and who needs to go, because it's about quality and not quantity. And guys, I can't tell you how blessed I was by my network last year. People really came through for me because I mean, those who follow me, you know, I had so many travels that I had planned from 2022, and then when I didn't have like a full-time job, it wasn't very easy to like find those air tickets, some for my son, myself, some for my son, and so many of my friends really came through for me. So like my New York trip was paid for by two of my friends, both for my son and I. The Qatar trip for my son was paid for by some of my friends, and I mean, so guys, trust your network. Make sure you have people who can come through for you in your time of need. And then something else I also learned is that asking for help is not a weakness. So a lot of us don't get help because we don't ask for it. So I just learned that there is no harm in asking for help when you need it, as long as you don't like make it a habit all the time. But like once in a while, it's okay to ask for help. Something else that I learned in 2023 is that it pays to write down your vision, to write down your goals, to write down your resolutions on paper, and and also to speak out your plans, because there's power in the tongue. Those who are there in yesterday's live, you had the Bible verses that we read from Habakkuk, from Proverbs. There's power. The power of death and life are in the tongue. So you choose which one. You can't be like in the middle. So whatever you speak, you're either speaking life or death. And we had the same exercise here last year where we did our vision boards. We wrote our goals for the year. We wrote all the plans we had for the year. Just the same exercise we did yesterday. And guys, can you believe almost everything that I wrote in this book? Let me show you. This book, all, like, let me say 90% of all the goals I wrote. Remember, we looked at this book yesterday. Career goals, personal goals, relationship, health, and so these were like the 2023 main goals. Like 90% happened. Actually, I was telling guys yesterday, the only thing that didn't come through was I had said $100,000 internet money. Can you believe? You guys, can you believe it? Like you can see it down here. Like I was 10,000 internet money. And then 100,000 subscribers at the YouTube plug, silver plug. That one didn't happen. But as much as we didn't get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, we crossed over 100,000 on TikTok in less than a year, guys. I mean, I've been on YouTube for close to how many years now? From 2018, this channel alone. And guys, can you believe it? Like it's taken us 5 years on YouTube to get to 80,000. It took us like 3 months to get to 100,000 on TikTok. So as much as that didn't come through, I can't complain, but I think it pays to write down your goals. So this year, I've also written down my goals, and I can't wait to go through that monthly and quarterly, just what we talked about yesterday, you know. So you can see here, this is what I had here at a glance. I plan out everything per month. And guys, so if you've ever doubted writing down your goals, you better write them down, because there's power in the pen, there's power in the tongue. Another lesson that I learned about during that season, especially when I wasn't working, is about finances, guys. Hey, 3 main things I learned during that period when I didn't have a formal job. I don't even know which one I can replace this, but this is what I actually, let me not read it. Let me show it to you guys. This is what I wrote. I don't want to read it up. Don't fuck up your credit, guys. Let me tell you, I cannot tell you the number of people, like when they don't have a job, especially in Kenya. I don't know about other countries. Kenya has like 300 mobile loan applications. 300 loan applications. So you find somebody, they have a job, but they have like loans in all these apps, all the Shylocks, I don't know how many banks, and have defaulted on all of them. Guys, it pays to have a clean credit line, because when you don't have like a job, sometimes you have some emergency, you need to pay something here when you're still waiting for money, and or something, an emergency comes up. If you have fucked up your credit lines, you're not gonna get help. And usually, if you want to know somebody has fucked up their credit lines, is when they start borrowing money from you. If there's any Kenyan who's borrowing money from you, just know they fucked up their credit lines, because we have so many sources of credit in this country. If somebody has exhausted all those sources of credit and they come to ask you individually, just tell them they need to clean up their credit. Something else that I learned is that it's very, very important to have some savings. And personally, what I usually use is at least 6 times of my monthly expenditure, and not just savings for like current expenditure, but also you should also have savings like long term, in case, let's say, when you retire, for example. So it pays to have both current, like liquid cash, as well as for retirement. So on the credit line, that one, pay all your debts as they fall due. Don't like default until unapelekwa CRB. That's a very bad way to live your life. Something else that I learned is that we should learn to accept gifts without second guessing. I cannot tell you the number of gifts I got last year, you know. Some, like, even so, my New York trip, I've told you guys, it was paid for by a long-term friend of mine. I didn't even ask her for money. Like, I literally posted on Facebook. I was asking a question on Facebook, and I just said that I'm going to New York, and I'm looking for reviews for the business class, KQ business class to New York. And she came to my English. She's like, "Excuse me, Eva, you want to fly KQ? No, not KQ. I'm gonna send you some cash and you can find a ticket on another airline." And then when I got to New York again, she literally paid most of my bills, like all the tours and everything. Like, she paid for that, and I didn't even ask for it. So I kept feeling like, oh my God, this is too much. But I've learned to accept gifts, because sometimes, you know, people reward you. You could be doing something and you take it very lightly, but people are watching. Like, that's what I usually say, do you never know who is watching. So these are people who've been watching me, and they're like, I like what you're doing, you're helping our people, and it's just my way of saying thank you. Hey, this one is very, very important. I also talked about it yesterday. Guys, for the love of God, take care of your health. Guys, take care of your health. So that is one lesson I learned in 2023. Guys, I thank God. Like, I don't even have to be thankful to God the whole year. Today we have one day to the end of this year. I never went, okay, let me say, for almost 7-8 years now, 9 maybe, I have never gone to a hospital that I'm sick. I have never taken any medication. I have never, like, felt unwell or anything like that for almost 9 years now, and I just thank God. Like, even when COVID came, guys, I never got COVID, and I had the privilege of taking care of my mom when she got COVID, my late mom, and somehow I didn't even catch it. So I thank God for a good immunity. So I know a large percentage of my immunity, I owe it to God. But also, I think I deserve credit for how I've taken care of myself. And you guys, by now, you know, working out 5 times a week, intermittent fasting, 16-8, trying to only eat healthy food. Though, hey guys, you won't believe what I have here. We have lemon and what, blueberry, lemon and blueberry cake. But I also have water, so I decided to spoil myself before the year ends, and I have water. So guys, if there's one thing that I learned about taking care of our health, I learned that any of life's major decisions, any of life's major activities are best taken when, one, you have just woken up from a good night's sleep, at least 8 hours. I do at least 8 hours every day. When you have done something for yourself first thing in the morning. So personally, that's one thing I do for myself first thing in the morning is to work out. And then when now you have those endorphins, they're called endorphins, the ones that your brain releases when you have worked out. When you have those endorphins flowing in your brain and your tummy is full of some very healthy meal, not like that cake I'm about to eat, then even decision making is profound. When you're working, your body feels good, you feel well. Like, guys, work out. And if there's any of you who's looking to relocate abroad, we talked about it yesterday's live video. You have no option. So many people are in my inbox, most of them are people who are working on cruise ships. And I have one, I think, for green card. They got their job offer letters, they have their visas, but they cannot join the ship because of their health. So remember, I keep saying it here, it's only in Africa where people relocate and just walk in like a toilet. Like, literally, you just leave your home country. As long as you have money, Ruto is gonna give you a passport, a Kenyan passport. But when you as a Kenyan, you as an African, wants to move as a permanent resident to Canada, to any country in Europe, to Australia, to the US, they have to do proper, thorough medical test on you. And if they found you with some funny diseases, you will not get, they will not even give you the visa. So guys, take care of your health. I can't even stress that good enough. It just feels good when you're healthy. Your body feels light and all that. And something else I learned in 2023 is there's no shame building in public. There's no shame learning in public. Keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing. So I know a lot of us are from the school of thought, oh, my life is private. Oh, I don't want to share this. Oh, I don't want to share that. But guys, I cannot tell you, let me close this curtain. I cannot tell you the power of learning and documenting your journey in public and doing all that. So I'll give you an example. Those of you who have been here long enough, you remember when we were in the US with my son last month, we went to Yale University. And while he was doing his thing, I decided to go and find out about the admissions program in Yale and what they're all about and all the requirements. And you guys who've watched that video, so I actually went there to create content, and then I'm like, you know what, I could actually find out some more information about this and find more content and just document it. So while on the process of talking to the admissions guys, I came to learn that Yale, like 90% of the students in Yale University are on full scholarship. And I'm like, whoa. And that everybody who gets admissions in Yale automatically gets to study, whether you have money or not. If you have money, you pay. If you don't have, they give you a full scholarship, including accommodation, food, air ticket from your home country every year, pocket money, supplies, everything they do for you. So this is just one example. If, let's say, I had just gone to Yale to take my son, and I wasn't like looking for content to create, I wouldn't have come across this information, which has been very, very valuable to me. It has been valuable to a lot of people that follow me. And I was even fortunate, I found one of my subscribers' kids in Yale. Guys, it's a very small world. So sharing my learnings in public has also opened a lot of business opportunities for me. You guys know that for a very long time, you guys have been asking me, please, Eva, help us to write our CVs, Eva, write us to write our CVs. But I was like, no, I don't want to do this. And then I moved to TikTok. And it was just a trial and error thing. And then I found myself in TikTok, and I'm like, okay, there's like 100,000 people, and 90% of all the DMs are like, Eva, please help me with my CV. Eva, please help me with my CV. So guys, you can see just by learning and sharing in public, it opened that business line for me that I wasn't like looking into, but it has also opened for me collaboration opportunities. I actually have 2 brands that contacted me. They want me to work with them in the coming year. I haven't said yes yet, but guys, I'm still very busy. We'll see. This other one is a little bit a sad one. I learned that time doesn't heal everything. So you guys, by now, you know, it's almost a year since my mom died, and I've always been like, oh, it's gonna, you know, they could tell you, it's gonna get better. You'll feel better. It shall be well. I learned that there's nothing like getting better. Every time you think of your loved ones who are no longer with us, the wound feels fresh, like they just died 2 minutes ago. So that is one thing I've learned. It's a cliche. Time doesn't heal everything. There are things that time cannot heal. Something else, very important lesson I learned in 2023 is that artificial intelligence, you guys have heard people saying artificial intelligence is gonna replace people's jobs, it's gonna take away our jobs. Guess what? AI ain't taking away anybody's job. The person who's gonna take away the jobs are people who embrace AI, learn how to use AI, and take advantage of it. So, guys, last year, those who were at the yesterday when we were looking at the resolutions for 2024, I shared with you guys. For me, mastering AI was my skill of 2023, and I feel I'm in a very good place. If I was to do an exam for AI, I think I would get an A minus at least. So nimeiva kwa AI. I have made it my mission to learn AI prompts and just how AI works. And I would encourage you guys, leverage AI for a better life. Something else I learned, an important lesson I learned in 2023 is what we call a radical acceptance. This one actually I learned yesterday from my life coach. So radical acceptance is whereby when bad things happen, instead of focusing on those bad things, is just accepting, okay, this has happened, fine. So for example, right now I'm doing this YouTube video and then the lights decide to go off and the Wi-Fi disconnects. So instead of sulking and I'm like, oh my God, does this Kenya Power know that I'm on a live? How dare the power go off? So instead of reacting like that, I'm like, okay, the power has gone off. Cool, I'm gonna find something else to do. So the opposite of radical acceptance is negativity. So this one especially, I decided it really worked for me. I actually didn't realize I've been practicing radical acceptance. I just learned of the term yesterday from my coach when she was teaching on that subject, but it's something that I actually realized I've been doing. So for example, there's some rental property that I built in the village. About 3 years ago now, I completed the construction. Everything is completed. But Kenya Power will not put for me electricity because they want me to bribe. And I'm like, I ain't bribing nobody. So I have applied almost 6 times to be connected to the grid, but somehow nobody will give it to me. So I decided in 2023, I'm not even thinking about that house. I'm gonna leave them. There are 2 houses. I'll give you the tour one day. And I was just like, I won't even think about them. They refused to give me, connect me to the grid, Nisawa. And guys, I've never had such peace of mind. For 3 years, this thing used to eat me up every day. I was on the call with people. I'm with Kenya Power guys. I'm with con men. I'm with con women. But in 2023, I was like, you know what? I am done. If the electricity is gonna get fixed, it will get fixed. If it won't, it won't. And I'm not even gonna think about it. And guys, it has really helped my life. Something else I learned, an important lesson I learned in 2023 is that you cannot save people from themselves. There are some people whom they just refuse to live a better life and they just won't even try at all. And I'll give you like 3 main examples, okay? So one, there are people who won't even try at all. Like, you can't save them. You can't even try to save. So generally, you can't save people. Like, you can't save people from themselves. If I want to change, nobody can do that for me. I have to do it for myself. So I'll give you 3 examples. Take the example of Kenya. So in Kenya, we file our tax returns once a year. And the deadline usually is June, I think, or is it May? The deadline for filing tax returns. No, wait. When do we file? Hey, what's the deadline for filing tax returns in Kenya? For filing tax returns in Kenya. Yes, June, I was right. It's usually 30th of June, 2024. And what happens? So Kenya's system of tax returns is the government relies on you to tell them how much tax you owe them. So it's not like the government calculating for you. You calculate your tax, or your employer calculates your tax, and then you tell the government, I owe you 5,000 or I owe you 10,000 and I already paid. So this is what I do. So you will find there are people who will still not file their income tax returns. And guys, filing tax returns is free. You don't pay anything to file your tax return. There's even a section where you can file a nil return. But not filing your tax return will cost you a penalty, though you'll be penalized. And when you're penalized for not filing your tax return, you can't even get a tax clearance certificate. And in this country, if you don't have a tax clearance certificate, you can't even get a job. You can't even get a government tender. Like, it limits you so many things that people just won't file their tax returns. Something else that I have seen is where, like, when it comes to investing, people just will not invest even when the risk is near zero. So remember, they say that life is about taking a risk. Even by sitting here, I'm actually risking. I mean, this chair could fall. But if I don't take that risk of sitting here, then I won't do the video. But that's what life is all about. Life by itself is a risk. So, and the higher the risk, the higher the return. So even in cases whereby the person who's sharing the information has a lot of evidence, there are people who will still not take the risk, even where the risk is zero. So I'll give you an example. I am currently 44 years old. For as long as I have been alive, the only way to invest in government of Kenya infrastructure bonds was if you had a minimum of 100,000 Kenya shillings. That's about 700 US dollars. But when the new president came to power, for the first time in the history of this country, you could buy an infrastructure bond for half the price, for 50,000. If you had 50,000, that's about 300 US dollars. You could buy infrastructure bonds. So guys, for me, this was good news. I mean, a lot of people struggle to raise 100,000, and I knew with the current economic crunch, people were gonna make money big time. So guys, I'm an accountant. I have my first degrees in accounting. I have a master's MBA in accounting. I am a certified public accountant, CPAK. So I understand that. I look at everything from that accounting investment angle. So I knew already with the economic situation the world is in, the economic situation the country is in, it is worth investing in infrastructure bonds in Kenya for three main reasons. One, that minimal amount, 50,000, was good enough for anybody who has to test the waters. Number two, usually if you wanted to buy infrastructure bonds in Kenya, you had to physically go to a Central Bank of Kenya branch, go and manually fill in the forms, take those forms to your bank, have them certify that they know you, and then take the forms back to Central Bank. That was a lot of time, and it was really making a lot of people not invest in the bonds. But this time, the new government made that whole process very simple through an app. So you literally download the DAO CSD app on your phone, and you do everything from your phone, or you can do it from your computer. Whether you're in America, you're in Canada, you're in Kenya, you're in wherever, it didn't matter. You could do it from the comfort of your home. And then in addition to that, I knew with the current, the way the economy is, the interest rates are gonna be really, really good. And remember guys, in Kenya, they tax us for everything. Even this Wi-Fi I am using, it is taxed. Everything, like you send money, they charge you for sending the money, and you pay tax on the money. Like, taxes are paid for everything in Kenya. Every little thing is taxed in Kenya. The only income that is not taxed in Kenya is interest from infrastructure bonds. You even save money in an MMF, the money market funds, they will charge you 15% withholding tax. You earn a salary, they charge you 35% of your salary goes to the government. Like, guys, you get charged tax to build affordable houses when you yourself don't have a house. You get taxed for everything in this country. The only profit that is not taxed in Kenya is infrastructure bonds. So guys, I did a video on TikTok, and I'm like, guys, this is an opportunity. I actually did a video that said why I have invested in government of Kenya infrastructure bonds and why I think you should. Guys, do you know those almost killed me? That video, I think it has 1 million views, and it is because of the haters. They said I have been paid, I am a vlogger, I have been paid by the government to come and swindle them of their money. Guys, I need to show you something. These are, so I've said that the minimum to the minimum amount you could invest was 50,000. But I want to show you guys something. These same Kenyans refused to pay. They refused to pay the 50,000. Like, no, they didn't refuse to pay. They literally complained that, oh my God, this is so expensive, yada yada. But I want to show you guys something. These are the same people, because I was looking at their profiles. Let me show you something behind the screens here so that you can see. By the way, guys, for the record, I don't drink, but I need to show you something. So this is a website in Kenya. I don't know how representative it is of prices of alcohol in the bars, but you can see here. This is, they call it a Glenfiddich. Glenfiddich, Watwa Pombe, how do you pronounce? I don't even know how to pronounce it. But you can see this alcohol is not even a liter. It is 700 ml. And it goes for 16,550. Okay? That's the price of alcohol in Kenya. I don't drink, so I just Googled the price of alcohol, and that is what came. Guys, you've seen a bottle of whiskey. Is it whiskey? I don't know whether this is whiskey. I don't know. Okay, let's say a bottle of wine. Oh, is it a wine? I don't know what that is. People who drink, help me in the comment section below. So this is 750 ml. It's going for 16,550. So if I'm imagining, I mean, I drink like 2 liters of water in one sitting. So technically, that's like 3 bottles of this drink. This drink, 1 bottle, 750 ml goes for 16,550. 3 bottles would go for almost 50,000. So it's very interesting that people are very comfortable to buy alcohol. Like they'll drink 3 bottles of that in one night and don't see a problem, but they will, where they draw the line is when it comes to an investment. And why somebody might think, why am I talking so much about Kenyans drinking? Let me tell you. I was looking at some statistics. Some statistics about Kenya. And consumption of alcohol. They said that it is, what number were we given? I think we're number 3 or 4 in the whole of Africa. Okay. So basically what I'm trying to say is human beings are very interesting characters. That's one thing that I learned. There are people generally human beings cannot be saved from themselves. So here I was sharing an opportunity that I thought was very helpful for people, especially for the younger generation. They would get a chance to invest in something that for us, we just used to read in the news. But now everything was done to be very simple. And what was more interesting is that as soon as the infrastructure bond the auction was closed and the government issued the bonds, the interest rate was 17.93%, guys. 17.93% interest, tax-free. I don't know if there's anything better than that, and that is passive income. So if you invested 1 million, that's almost 180,000 tax-free. But human beings are human beings. They will just refuse to live a better life. So another last example is where, for example, you find somebody is clearly struggling with their weight or their health, and they even talk about it. But the same person will not work out, even just walking exercises. They'll continue to eat junk food. So I just learned that it is human nature. And I learned that the best way to do it is to practice what my coach calls the law of allowing. Just let people be, yeah? Because it's human nature. Another lesson I learned in 2023 is that the days when you least expect it is when all your progress will happen. Like, or those things you don't think about too much, those are the ones that surprise you. So I have almost 3 incidences where that happened. So for example, you guys, you have seen my goal for 2023. I was like, I'm gonna get the silver plaque for YouTube. I was so sure we'd hit 100 subscribers, but it didn't happen. And then TikTok, where I didn't even have any goal for TikTok, because at the beginning of the year when I was doing my planning, TikTok wasn't one of those websites I was big on, but it just somehow happened along the way. And look at what happened. Like, we go viral on TikTok like every week. There's no week where we do a video and we don't hit at least 500,000 on the video. So I have learned that when you least expect it is when things will happen. So what you need to do in life is just show up. Showing up is like 90% of the work done. Because if you don't show up, you don't get a chance to actually even try. So that's something I've learned, that when you least expect it is when things happen. So just show up. The other lesson I have learned is that, yes, this one especially is for my son if he's watching me. The 5-minute rule. So basically, this is whereby if you have something that needs to be done and it will take you maximum of 5 minutes to do it, just do it right away. Like, don't even put it aside, because it's just gonna pile up. So that is a rule I started implementing this year, 2023, and it has worked so well for me. It helped me so much in decluttering, and like my life is so much better, is so much organized because of that 5-minute rule. If it's gonna take me 5 minutes or less, I am not waiting to do it. I'm doing it immediately. Another lesson I learned in 2023, and I've kept talking about it so much, guys, let us normalize praying, because we are at war with people that don't even know what they want from us. Like, so this is something I have, it's not like just my life personally, but even what I have seen happening, especially in the online social media space. Like, since I joined TikTok, I'm like, you guys, like, yo, TikTok is like a war zone. I don't know, is any of you guys on TikTok? TikTok is like a war zone. So like yesterday, in fact, I don't know, let me look for my other phone. There's something I need to play for you guys. Give me 1 minute, guys, I'm coming back. Guys, please like the video. So, as I was saying, I don't know which of you guys is on TikTok, because you know, when you're just from YouTube, YouTube can make you think like, you know, like when you're just, I've been on YouTube for so long, it always felt like I was in a bubble. So when I went to TikTok, I was like, what is happening? So there's this lady, I follow her on TikTok. I mean, there's so much drama. So I like listening to her stories, like when I'm just like doing my thing. And recently, about 2 days ago, there's a video that has been doing the rounds. Guys, I want you to just listen. It is crazy. That's why I said you guys need to go.
Which I was paid to do something for you. Wewe niwache. Niwache kabisa. Na niwache kabisa niishi maisha yangu.
So guys, that guy is basically confessing. So the lady lives in Germany. This guy lives in Kenya. Like, they're literally people who met. They're like TikTokers, fellow TikTokers. But somebody gave, this guy now confessed yesterday that somebody gave him 50,000 to unlife the lady. Guys, can you believe it? Like, I always imagined that TikTok was a place where people come, create content, just like any social media platform, and there's always agreements, disagreements, and all that. But to reach a point whereby a stranger wants to unlife you, not because of anything, but because you are succeeding. Guys, that's why I keep saying normalize praying. You are at war with people that don't even know what they want from you, because by the time you start meddling into somebody, a stranger's life, like somebody you just see on your screen of your phone, then it's really dangerous, guys. We live in dangerous times. If people that just see us on the screen don't even know us, they only see a piece of our life, can be that, I don't even know what word to use. Can you imagine, like, the people who, like, they know you, they probably know where you live, they know where you work, like your colleagues, for example, who are probably jealous of you, or your neighbors. Can you imagine what kind of war we are in? And that's why when the Bible says we are fighting against principalities and powers in high places. So guys, do not underestimate the spiritual war that we are fighting. Okay, so normalize praying. We all need it. Something else that I learned in 2023, an important lesson, is drama is a waste of time. Okay, guys, drama is a waste of time. Do not involve yourself in drama. Do not be part of drama. And one way of solving problems is not being part of the problem. So remove yourself, remove from your life people who thrive off of it. Make use of your phone's block and delete feature. And trust me, when you're doing it, it might feel like, oh my God, how am I going to survive with this person, without this person? Trust me, it can be done. So yeah, don't entertain drama in your life. Life is too short. Yeah. Another important lesson I learned in 2023 is that happiness passes through gratitude. Guys, if you are not content with what you have now, there's no day you'll ever be happy. So those who watched the what do we call it, the live yesterday, I shared with you guys some of the, let me show you. So like, this is something I do every day. This is my gratitude journal. I just write things that are happening. I do it, so this, it has, so like, this is for January, so it has like everything I write down. So you can see it has all this. So this is per month, it's per month. So I just get to write everything that is happening. You can see here is another one. So just writing them down. This is so this is how it appears when there's nothing on it. So just writing every day things that I'm grateful for. And this, I have learned it, that maintaining a gratitude journal just changes your whole outlook on life, which leads me to my next important lesson, is that there are more good things, more good people, and more good experiences than bad people, bad things, bad experiences. The only difference is that the loud things, loud people, the bad things, bad experiences, bad people are so loud, they literally drown the good things, because people don't speak about the good things and the good experiences and the good people, because they have shame but are hiding behind privacy. So people are pretending to be private, yet they're just hiding shame, hiding self-esteem. So it always appears that it is the bad things that are happening. So it appears like we live in such a very sad world. We live in such a very sad, life is full of sad experiences, bad experiences. Life is full of bad people, because those are the ones making noise. And when anybody tries to show the good things that are happening in their life, their good experiences, that's why you hear people, like if somebody shows off the good relationship they have, oh, mtaachana tu, you know, Or if, let's say, you're the lucky ones who have rich boyfriends like Diana B, whereby your boyfriend wishes you, is it husband, wishes you happy birthday on a billboard or celebrates you on a billboard, people say, oh, it's sponsored. And I'm like, he could have said no to the sponsorship, but he was sponsored, yes, but he put her there. He could have chosen to put his business, you know? So, and even it's the same thing, like even here on my channel, we have a lot of people who have been helped by my videos, but you will never, ever, ever find them, even in the comment section saying, oh, Eva, thank you, your video helped me. You will never find them. There are people who have shared opportunities here, they've gone ahead and applied for those jobs, but you will never, ever find them here. There's even one recently who came to me. I was at church. Actually, it was like 2 days when I just come from New York. So this guy comes to me, he's like, hi, Eva, how are you? And I'm like, who is this? He said, I've been your follower on YouTube for a very long time. I said, oh, great. So usually anytime I meet any of my viewers or my subscribers, I want to know why they follow me. So I asked him, so why do you watch my videos? And then I always want to know if my videos have impacted him. So this guy tells me in 2019, he applied for a job with, is it called Silver Sea Cruises or something like that? No, he applied for a job 2019 with Silver Sea Cruises, and then this guy currently works in Dubai, or is it Qatar? I don't remember. So he applied for a job with Silver Sea Cruises. I think they're called Silver Sea Cruises. And then he got the job. He was offered the job. But no, those days, 2019, before COVID, not many people used to talk so much about cruise ship jobs. Even I myself didn't know that the cruise ships hire Kenyans. I didn't even know, or even hire people from Africa. So I didn't even know about it. But apparently people used to apply for those jobs and just disappear, but nobody was talking about it. They would get the jobs and just keep quiet. So when this guy was hired, he already had a job in Dubai. So when he got this job offer, he was like, oh my God, this is too good to be true. I can't even believe. So he actually declined the job. So in 2022, I think that's when I started talking about cruise ship jobs, and I met this lady in Germany who was actually, she was Kenyan, but she was actually going to join a ship in Miami. I met her in Germany, and then she accepted to be interviewed on the channel. And guys, that's why I started talking about cruise ship job, because remember, for me, I don't talk about things I have not verified or confirmed. So this lady showed me her appointment letter, everything, the ship she was going to join. So I was sure like this is something that is credible. So I started talking about those cruise ship jobs. And then when I started talking about the cruise ship jobs, another guy who was on, which cruise was that? There's a guy I interviewed. He approached me on Facebook and shared with me his story. So he didn't tell, no, actually, so this guy was also joining Silver Sea Cruises, the guy I interviewed on, the second guy now I interviewed on my channel. So now this guy in Dubai watched that video, but this is now 2022. He already declined the job in 2019, thinking it was a scam. So in 2022, I interview somebody, the few, I told you guys there's more good things happening than bad things, but the good people don't want to be interviewed, they don't want to be seen, they don't want to talk about it, they would rather hide for whatever reason, I don't know. Anyway, so this guy in Dubai stumbles upon that video. I'm interviewing this guy, he's actually working for Silver Sea, and he's like, oh my God, so this thing was true and I left that opportunity. So this guy went and contacted his recruiter. Remember, those days were not so many of people applying, so recruiters could actually share with you information. So he went back to this guy, he's like, okay, I'm now available, yada yada. Then he got the job offer. So now this guy is one telling me the story. He's like, oh, so thank you, Eva, blah, blah, blah. He even said, okay, let's do a selfie together. So I do a selfie, blah, blah, blah. And then I told, this was a Saturday. So I asked him, so why are you like an SDA? Me, I'm an SDA. He said, no, I don't know. So I don't understand the circumstances under which he was in our church. Anywho, so I told him, today is Sabbath. I don't want to do video, but if you're available tomorrow, let's plan to do the video. He said, fine. Hey, people, do you know by morning, that guy had changed his mind. He told me I don't want to be interviewed. Nini, and at this point, I've already given him my number. I've already shared with him information because I was just like, okay, he's also going to help other people. So I even had given him my number, Nini. Do you know, guys, by morning, dude was like, no, I don't want to be interviewed. So, guys, it's just to let you know there's a lot of good things happening. There's a lot of good people. There's a lot of good experiences. But the good people have decided to keep quiet. So the bad ones are ruling. That's why even in the comment section, when you check comment section, there are more people complaining than people saying thank you. My inbox is full of people complaining than people saying thank you. And something very interesting that also surprises me usually. So when I go on TikTok is where I find a lot of now those people who come with stories. Oh, Eva, I watched I don't know which video of yours, but I didn't know how to find you. And I'm like, you didn't know where to find me, but you knew where to find the video? Anywho. So that's what I just wanted to mention. That's something that I've learned, that it's human nature. So don't ever feel like things are not going the right direction. The world is sad. The world is not sad. There's more good happening. There are more nice people. There are more good experiences. And that's where gratitude journaling comes in. Guys, you heard me even talk about this yesterday. Since my mom died, I have never looked at a morning the same way. You know those things, I used to take it for granted, like you go to sleep, you wake up, you go to sleep, you wake up, you go to sleep, you wake up, as long as you're not sick. For 44 years, mornings were just mornings. But from the day my mother died, every morning is a miracle to me. Because my mother slept September 4. She never woke up from her bed. There was no sign, no goodbye, nothing. She slept and slept. So for me, every day when I wake up, I journal and say, thank you, Lord, for a good morning. I have seen a new day. I can breathe. I don't have any pain in my body. I am not on any medication. I can see, I can hear, I can talk, I can work out, I have a job to go to, I can talk to people on YouTube. Those small things. That's what a gratitude journal does to you. It helps you to see the good things that are happening in life. But when you don't have a gratitude, so because the bad things are making so much noise, you have to be intentional on looking out for the good things. Another lesson I learned in 2023 is that perfection is better than done. Stop all this paralysis analysis. There are some of you who have been with me on this journey since 2018 when we started this channel. And those who have been following me, I'm talking about the same thing every day. So you will remember something as basic as getting a passport. There are people, we started from 2018. I was telling them, guys, get a passport, get a passport, get a passport, get a passport. Wananiangalia tu. There are people I used to tell, start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. They create videos, they delete them. They create videos, they delete them. Create videos, delete them. There are others. So I'm in a life coaching group and I've seen Eglin here. You can go and report me. I am in a WhatsApp group with my fellow, are they called, people who are being coached are called life coaches or what anyway. So sometime this year, I remember, I don't know how this happened, but somehow we got talking about TikTok and a lot of them was like, I'm interested in starting a TikTok account. What do I do? What's the process like? So usually what I do, when people, more than one person asks me the same question, I just go and do a video about it and share because it's tiring to repeat yourself. So I actually did a video for them, what you need to do when you're starting a TikTok account, especially if you're planning to use it. Treat it as a business, not just for swinging nyash and dancing and blah, 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 but you want to use it like a proper platform. And I shared it, and I'm like, okay, here is the video, go ye and prosper. I am yet to stumble on any one of their videos. So I'm not like throwing shade, but I know what is happening. They're probably doing videos and deleting them, doing videos and deleting them. Like, oh, this is not good enough. Oh, I don't like the way my face looks here. Oh, I don't like the way, guys. Done is better than perfect. Okay? Focus on doing. Go and learn as you go. Enda ujifunzange ukiendanga. Okay? Go and learn on the job. Another lesson I learned in 2023, very, very, very important. Always, always, always take your lunch break. Those, whether you're in formal employment, whether you're informal, whether you work for yourself, whether you're in business, that 1 hour lunch break is very, very, very important. And I learned it especially for me because I mostly work from home. When I'm in Kenya, I'm working from home. Like 90% of my time I work from home. So it's very easy to sit on this chair from 8 o'clock in the morning until 10 p.m. So I have purposely put an alarm clock at exactly 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. is my lunch break. And you will not find me on this chair. Whether I'm in the office or learn to take a break away from your desk. Lunch break should be away from your desk. Even if you're working in an office and you have carried lunch, please do not have your lunch on your desk. Take that 1 hour lunch break, go and walk, get some sunshine, eat your food, stand, do whatever you have to do. It makes a whole lot of a difference, that 1 hour lunch break. Another lesson I learned in terms of taking advice and criticism, only take advice and criticism from people who live and experience the results that you would like to live and experience. Let me explain. If, let's say, I want to invest, I'm not going to take investment advice from somebody who is not yet living the life that I want or the experience or experiencing the results that I am looking forward. I will not take advice from them. I will not take criticism from them because they really don't know what it feels like to be at that space which I'm aiming. So whatever information they may be giving me is just an opinion. Unlike if I'm dealing with somebody who has had that result, has had that experience that I am aspiring to. Okay? Other lesson I learned in 2023 is when people show you who they are, you better believe them. You guys, let me tell you, this story, I know it sounds very petty, but I need to tell it. So I get it off my chest. So there's this lady. I met her maybe 4 or 5 years ago. She was in a very, very miserable condition. I really felt bad for her. She didn't even have a job. Her husband didn't have a good job. So they were like really, really like living hand to mouth. So I pulled some strings here and there and somehow got somebody to hire her. So she's been working. And then, of course, COVID happened. So anytime she would come to the city where I am, like when she comes for meetings and stuff like that, of course, you know, like if let's say you work in Kisumu and you go to work in Eldoret, if it's not your workstation, they will pay you. They will pay you what? Like accommodation, like a per diem or something. So anytime the work brought her to my city, of course, she knew her per diem would be her money. So I noticed that she would never contact me until, so the only time when she contacted me, I knew, they are due to come to my city. So some time back, she contacted me. And when she contacted me, I live in a 2-bedroom house. So my other bedroom was being used by somebody. I already had guests. No, actually my son was home, so she couldn't use my other bedroom. So she contacted me and told me that I'm coming to your city. Can I get accommodation? I told her no. My son is home, so his room is occupied, so you can't come. So she was like, okay. So she actually called me the day she was coming, like that very, she didn't even like give me a prior notice. It was like that day she was coming, and she tells me, okay, I'm on my way, by the way, I'll need accommodation. And I told her, no, you can't, because the other room is being used. So okay, so this may be, again, it's my fault, but personally, if I contact you and tell you I'm coming to your house, and then you tell me no, even when I arrive, I will let you know that I arrived safely. Is that asking too much? So anyway, so I didn't hear back. So that same day, I didn't hear back from her whether she arrived or not. So I said, okay, maybe her phone died or something, or maybe she got busy. So the next day, I didn't hear back from her. So the third day, I decided to call her and like, hey, did you ever arrive? She's like, yeah, I arrived, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, so you won't even say hi. She said, no, in fact, I'm coming. So she told me, okay, I'll come. So I waited, I even cooked for her lunch. She never came. So I called again in the evening. I told her, by the way, are you still coming? But even if you're not coming to stay, please come and get your food. Because you know I don't eat this stuff. I don't even have a microwave. I don't eat after such an hour. So just come and carry the food. Because I imagined, since she's like on a per diem, she might not want to spend too much money. Guys, this lady did not come back. But 2 weeks before that, I had gone to the town where she was, and then I had asked to meet her. So she told me, okay, I'll come and meet you at the hotel where I was. She said, okay, I'll come in the evening. So in the evening, I waited up to almost 7, 8. I didn't hear from her. So I told her, okay, it's getting late. Are you still coming? She said, no, I'm not coming. Then I asked her, why? You don't believe what she told me? She told me, my husband told me he doesn't want me to come and hang around with you, because when I hang around with you, we come home late. Guys, that was like 2 months before that. So I asked myself, so your husband has no problem me hanging around with you when I'm getting you jobs, but when you get a job, when I get you a job, suddenly now he has a problem with me. And by the way, guys, this girl, she's above 18. I don't even drink. Like, what's the worst I could do? Like, if I went to a restaurant with you and we've never met like in a whole year, of course you're gonna come back like at 10, and it's like a one-off event. So I was just like, oh my God, I should have learned my lesson that time. And then after like 2-3 days later, I get a message from the same girl. Oh, by the way, my husband hasn't been paid for the last 5 months. Can you help him get a job at the same place I work? And I'm like, okay. Anyway, guys, I know it's petty, but I just learned that when people show you who they are, I should have learned. I mean, like, I should have learned my lesson then. But in general, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't even wait for them to remind you who they are. And I know they always say that don't have expectations from people. Me, it doesn't work like that with me. I believe in energies being returned. If I give you positive energy, I am expecting positive energy back from you. And you give me bad energy, I am done with you. You know why? Because, let me show you something. Remember, guys, we always say life is spiritual. Let me show you something. So me, I'm not that type of tender wema nenda zako. I don't do that. Let me show you. That's my Bible. There's a verse here. I've read it severally. Why some of us are suffering in our homes. Let me read for you in case somebody can learn from this. Proverbs 17 verse 13. If you have your Bible, please open. Proverbs 17 verses 13. And I'll read it, If someone does you good and you repay them with evil, evil shall never depart from your house. That is Proverbs 17 verse 13. So guys, It's simple like that. If somebody does you good and you repay them with evil, evil shall never depart from your house. So don't even tell yourself that when you do something for people, don't expect anything in return. No. Let us learn to treat people well. So the last lesson that I learned in 2023, so the last lesson, like I learned so many important lessons, but this one I learned is that things never fall apart, they fall in place. And God will use, I'm looking for some of my notes. Yeah. God is going to use anything in your life. My cable, I'm stepping on it. Like, God has no limitations when He wants to bless you or turn your life around. Like, your life will not be short of things for Him to use, because you see, like me, I'm human. If I'm looking for something to do about, like if I want to do something to you or with you, I'm going to be looking for good things in you. But the way God operates, if He wants to do something in my life, He can pick anything. Good, bad, like with Him, it doesn't matter. He can pick anything He wants to pick. So when things happen in our lives, we should never look at them as, oh my God. So it's a little bit related to the radical acceptance bit, but this is now like the spiritual angle, and I'll give you 2 examples. I've shared one of them here on the channel. The first one, like God will always use the lemons in our lives to create lemonades outside of them. I've shared this story before, but I will share it again because it's very impactful. So I bought a house off plan in 2018. It was before COVID. So for a very long time, I've been following the developer. Oh, please, I need my house. If you can't give me my house, give me back my money. I need my house. If you can't give me my house, give me back my money. But it has to go like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. Something straightforward. So after now, my mom had died in September of 2022. Now come January 22, no, it wasn't, it was in December. After it was almost 2 months. So one day I was just decluttering my house, and then I stumbled upon the newspaper whereby my mom had, what is it called? Is it called the obituary? Like where they say that somebody has died and blah, blah, blah. So when I was decluttering my house, I stumbled upon this newspaper cutting. This was just 2 to 3 months. It was actually less than 3 months after my mom had just died. I think it was 2 to 3 months or less. So I stumbled upon this newspaper. I was just minding my business. Then I stumbled upon this newspaper. Hey, you guys. I don't know how to say this in English, but Mirima no hewa. If there's any Luo who is watching this video, I don't know how you say it in English. You know, like the way you get triggered. Like I felt, I don't know how you say it in English. If there's any Luo here, is there any Luo who's watching me? Mirima no hewa. Like you just feel like umejawa na, like you're full of, I don't know how to say it in English, but I was just filled with a lot of pain. And guys, I started crying. And it was a morning, very early in the morning. I just started crying. Guys, I cried. I'm trying to stop myself. It's not stopping. Then I had, I usually call this inspired action because I've never been able to explain exactly what happened. The only way I can explain it is inspired action. So inspired action is you feel like some deep inner thing asking you to do something, but you can't even explain it. I don't know if you guys have ever had something like that. Like, you just feel something in you telling you to do something, but you cannot explain what this thing is and why. So, katika harakati ya kulia, this process of crying, so I'm trying to stop myself, it's not stopping. An idea came to my head that why don't I go back and see the developer one more time? So I'm trying to stop myself. It's not stopping. The crying is not ending. I'm trying to literally stop myself, but I'm not able to stop. But I'm also feeling like this inspired action. Something is telling me you need to go and see the developer now. So I'm debating like, yes, okay, fine, I'm ready to go and see the developer, but this crying has refused to stop. I need to stop crying so I can go and see the developer, because I'm feeling like something is just telling me you need to go and see the developer now. So I decided, okay, I'm just gonna go and I'm crying. So I said I'm gonna walk to the developer's office. It's not very far from my house. So I decided to walk there. And my reason for walking was that when I walk, by the time I reach there, the Mirima would have ended. You guys. So I went, and that's the day I realized nobody cares about you. Like, everybody is going through issues, nobody even worries about you. I cried all the way walking. Guys, can you imagine somebody's crying in Nairobi? Walking. It's not like crying, like crying, paka mucus is rolling, and nobody even asked me what is wrong with me. Nobody even noticed. And I walked all the way to town. So when I reached the building, this building where this developer's office is, on the ground floor. You know, in Kenya here, when you visit any building, they have to inspect you. So I was carrying, so I just picked one of my bags from the house that I'd used the day before. So like a tote bag. And then I put my phone inside. That's all I carried. I went. And then that newspaper, for some reason, I put it inside the bag. So when I reached there, so I'm still crying. So the security guard told me that they want to check my bag. And I just feel like this person is wasting my time. I need to get to this lift. The crying needs to stop. So I didn't even look at the security guard. I just walked past them and I went to the lift. So when I got to the lift, I entered. And just when the door of the lift was about to close, the security guard came and put his leg so the lift could close. So he told me to come outside the lift. So when I came outside the lift, so he told me that, why have you refused to sign the book and to be inspected? So I told him, sorry, I didn't hear. So at this point now, I'm really crying. So I went back to the reception, and then they gave me a book to write my name and the phone number. Guys, the moment I started writing on that, like, it was just tears falling on that book. I don't even know what I wrote as my name. So I wrote, and then he told me, okay, go to this lady to inspect your bag. So when I opened my bag, I find, so yesterday I had bought these strings for hanging clothes, luminous green, and I had forgotten to remove it from my bag. So the moment the security lady opens my bag, she finds the string. You know, in Kenya, when you shop, they don't give you bags. So I just bought the string from the supermarket and I put it in my handbag. So there was that string, the obituary page of my mom, and my phone. So when this lady looked at my bag, remember me, I'm still crying. So when she opened my bag, that's when I looked and I'm like, oh my God, these are the things I'm carrying. So she signals, so she looks up. So I saw them looking at each other. Remember, the male security guy is behind me. So she looked at him, I think, and signaled him something. So when I was going back to the lift, the security guard is following me. So he followed me to the lift. And then when I got to the lift, I realized these guys did not let the lift go. One of the men who was in the lift held the lift. So when I come back, you know, now this security guard is following me. Guys, now the Mirima is even adding. Now I'm even crying more. So this guy asks the security guard, when this lady entered the lift the first time, before you called her, she was not crying, which is not true. Okay, I was crying, but not that much. Now you're coming back with her and she's crying. What have you done to her? He said, me, I've not done anything to her. In fact, I only asked her why she didn't do security search, and that's the only thing I said to her. So he came, so they kept asking me, Madam Lenini, me, I'm even crying more. So I went, when I reached, so I was the first person to get out of the lift. My floor, they reached it first. So the moment I got out of the lift, I got out of the lift like this, and then you walk. So in that office, there are only two offices that are opposite each other when you get out of the lift. So I got out of the lift and I went straight to the office where I wanted to go. Guys, I reached that office at the reception. I started, now is when I even cried. Even I cried. You know the way they cry in Luo funerals? I was crying and I was like, why are you doing this to me? my mom now is dead. You guys have used to give me my money. Like, I was crying and crying and crying. So you'd think my mother had just died that morning. Guys, I cried for almost 30 minutes. I cried and cried and cried. But guys, by the time I finished crying, I had my check. Story number one. I know people, and I even shared with you guys here, one of the guys who sent me, hey, let me even see that, I don't want to show you guys that email. Go and check my old videos. There's even some other person who bought 4 houses in that same place. And that person unfortunately passed on, but he was one of those very rich Muzungus here in Kenya. And his lawyer has been trying to follow up the houses, but they've been unable to, almost 6-7 years later. And this guy even contacted me and he was asking me, oh, because guys, I'm on YouTube and I've talked about this story so many times. On my other channel, I even talk about this particular house. So this guy, I think he was just doing a Google search and then he landed on my YouTube videos and was asking me, do you know if there's any class action suite that I can join for this developer? Because my client, we've been trying to follow up, yada, yada, yada. Guys, he wants to do a class action suite, while for me, crying my mom's death gave me back my money. And this time is when I didn't have a job, like a proper full-time job. But like I've told you guys from the beginning, a good part of last year, I wasn't working. So it was very good to have this money. Anywho, so that is the first one. Number 2, I've told you God, the issue is here is things don't fall apart, they fall in place. God will use anything, any lemons in your life to make them into lemonade. So at least for me, something good came out of that, just remembering that issue of my mom. At least something good came of it. Anytime I went and bought another house. So anytime I see that house, I just remember my mom and I'm like, okay, Ulienda, but at least I have this. I cried you and I got this. Anyway, that is just one side. Things don't fall apart, they fall in place. God will use anything in your life, whether it is good or bad, to help you achieve whatever he thinks is good for you. And then it's important to always follow inspired action. Like in my case, guys, how coincidental is it that morning I stumble on this newspaper, I get overwhelmed, and something tells me, go and cry in that office. Like, that's the most embarrassing thing I've ever done in my life. Like, how do you go to somebody's office and go and wail and cry about your dead mom? Anyway, I did that. So the other story is going to be the final story I'll tell you. This one, I hope it will inspire somebody. I need to look for an email. Let me look for some email. And this one is about my current job. I won't give you all the details because if I tell you, you might. TMI. So, let me tell you. So this is, I'm going to tell you bits and pieces of the story just to get the full story. So my current job that I have right now, I did not apply for it. Remember, I hadn't been having a job for almost 7 months. No, 8 months. So on the 9th month, just some random day, I'm going through my inbox and then I find an email. So in this email, somebody was headhunting me. I was being headhunted. I hadn't applied for this job. Yeah. And he says, my name is so-and-so, I am blah, 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 working on this program. I am currently recruiting for a dash. And I think your CV and profile could be a good fit for this. So wondering if you'd be available for an interview, blah, 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 blah. So remember, I didn't apply for this job. They just invited me. So I go through that interview process, blah, 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 blah. And then, this one I won't tell you. No, I'll tell you another time. This one, if I tell you, I'll be giving TMI anyway. So guys, in short, what I'm saying, things don't fall apart. They fall in place. Oh, last one. This is the last one I have learned. like literally everyone in Kenya, I don't know about other countries, but mostly in Kenya, everyone in Kenya is broke throughout, constantly broke, until when a fake immigration agent rears his ugly face, then suddenly everybody in Kenya has money. Guys, this one I have talked about severally. I have done a full video about it. I cannot tell you the number of people who are getting scammed by my name. And I'm like, you actually had $6,000 sitting in an account somewhere, and all you used it for was to pay somebody to get you a Canada visit visa. So that is something that still puzzles me to date. Like, guys, if I have $6,000, I do not have a Form 4 certificate, like a high school certificate. In Kenya, we have what they call a gumbaru. Like, you literally just go and do the exam. And I don't know how much it costs, but it's very little money. So if I have $6,000, I would take $1,000, go and do that exam. I would apply for my children's birth certificates. If they don't have, I would apply for mine. I would do a course if I need the certificate. And then I would put this money, I would open like a parallel bank account, and I'll be depositing money in that account bit by bit. Like, this month I'll put $500, next week I'll put $700. So within 6 months, all the $6,000 would be in that account, and it looks like I have a banking history. And then I would take that bank statement and use it to get up and apply for a visitor visa, which costs 85 Canadian dollars only. So I would still be left with 5,900. Yes, let's assume I use the $20 for Uber and blah blah blah. So I would have my Canadian visa, because there's no way I would have $6,000 in my bank account. I've put it over 6 months, and then they'll deny me a visa. Not happening. So I would have my $5,900 intact in the bank, and I would have my 10-year multiple entry. What is it called? Multiple entry Canadian visa. But you guys would rather have a Canadian visa and no money in the bank. So that's one thing that has puzzled me. I've just learned that everyone is broke until an immigration agent, a fake one, rears his head, and suddenly everyone has money when it comes to moving abroad. And then, okay, I think I've talked about everything. Guys, what did you guys learn this year? You've just been watching me and you're not telling me what you're learning. Elfrida, hi. Chela is watching from Nairobi. Hi. Ibrahim from Abu Dhabi. Thanks for the good work. You're welcome. Tracy is watching from Zambia. Miss EJ from Malawi. Hi. Mami Yo. New follower from Uganda. Welcome to the family, dear. I hope you are subscribed. Christine is saying, hello, princess. I'm watching from Nigeria. Love your content. Excellent. Well done. Thank you so much. David, I'm here. Your TikTok fan. And thank you so much. Kodak Mike is saying information is power. I agree. Tendai is saying, hello, sister from Zimbabwe. Mercy, watching from Ireland. Good job. Oh, thank you so much, guys. I'm happy to read the lessons you have learned in the comment section. Feel free to put them even after the live. And it was a pleasure hanging with you guys. Yeah, I wish you all the best. And as we look forward to the new year, hope you cross over well. I think maybe 2 more lives and then I'm done. Okay, 2 more videos or lives. And then I'm done, guys. So thank you. Have a good one.